For a former Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, fighting to free himself from an alleged 2.7 billion naira fraud is intense. Well, a federal high court in the FCT has granted him, his daughter Fatima, and the in-law Jalal Hama bail. The trial judge, Justice Silvanus Orji, granted all the accused who pleaded not guilty, a bail request in the sum of 100 million naira each. In addition, Sirika and 2 other accused are barred from traveling outside the shores of the country without his permission. The trial has subsequently been fixed for June 10th, 11th, and 20th. Now, let's share the story with you. The story is coming from Helen Osamide Ekins. Let's go there. Come with me.
Former Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirika is being arraigned along 3 others for abuse of office and misappropriation of funds to the tune of 2.7 billion naira. Sirika was docked on a 6-count amended charge before Justice Silvanus Orji of the Federal Capital Territory High Court. Before taking plea, the prosecution counsel Rotimi Jacobs informed the court of an amended charge by the EFCC dated May 7th and filed on May 8th, which was not opposed by counsels to the defendants. After the charge was read and the defendant pleaded not guilty, the accused counsel urged the court to ensure an expeditious hearing of the case. Kanu Agabi counsel to Sirika informed the court of his client's bail application dated May 6th. All the defendants moved the bail applications and asked the court to be liberal in the bail conditions. Ruling on the bail application, Justice Orji admitted the 3 defendants on bail in the sum of 100 million naira and 2 shorties each in the like sum. The shorties must be responsible citizens with verifiable home address, while one of them must have landed property with certificate of occupancy signed by the FCT minister. The judge ordered that the defendants must not travel out of the country without express permission of the courts.
Well, there are other issues that were introduced, like the Nigerian Airways with Ethiopia something, which we added to it. So it was not there originally, but Nigerian Air matter is there are 2 counts on it. That's why we amended it.
Justice Oriji ordered that the defendants be remanded in correctional center if they fail to meet the bail conditions. Helen Osamide Kings, TVC News, Abuja.
Tony, did you see this coming?
Of course.
You did?
Yes, of course. You see this built thing, eh? This built thing. Yeah. It shows that we're not really fighting corruption fiercely. If we want to fight corruption, and EFC has a watertight case, I mean, why would you go down and grant? You know, I saw the way he was strolling to the courts this morning, so I know he has done his own work, and he's going to stroll home. And that's what you're saying. This is the same, I mean, where is the Accountant General of the Federation that was accused of 109 billion naira corruption, misappropriation? It's on bail. It's on bail. You see, until we're really ready to fight corruption, the likes of Sirika will not stroll into the courts and stroll out of court again. Let's be realistic. I don't want to hear this issue of, it's a court. No, please. Yeah. If he's accused of it, if he's accused of corruption, it should be treated as such.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe we're getting to that point where we should start having anti-corruption court. There's something going on in Nigeria. We're not ready yet.
Something close to special courts.
Yes, for corruption. Okay. If we are really ready. Otherwise, this kind of thing will encourage present occupants of public offices, ministers, and heads of the NDAs and all that. Because there are no punishment. He's going home, and I can assure you won't hear this case again for a long time to come. This is not the way to go about these things at all. You pay 100 million and that's it. And we continue again. Maybe in 4 months' time, we remember Sirika had appeared in court 4 months ago. So what happened next?
No. We're not.
That is
Tony, we're not looking for
citizen.
too
It's the trend. I'm not just speaking. This is what I've seen over
Tony,
time.
you are a journalist. Keep the dates 10th, 11th,
Yes,
20th.
that
June.
is what I'm saying. Yes, and he will appear in court. Definitely, will come to court. There are some of them that should not be coming from home. They will distort. They have a way with the investigation. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't just let them go and say you're 100 million to what.
Yeah. Okay. Doctor, I'm sure you know about the book "Fighting Corruption is Dangerous."
Everywhere, because corruption will fight back.
Okay.
So what?
So is that what Tony is alluding to now?
I think what I read from what he said is we are not yet serious about fighting corruption. Because it does appear that those we feel feeling should be
Above board.
in jail
Okay.
as they come for their trial, do so from home. They're strolling from home. Because that's what we feel should not happen.
Yeah, but are you surprised? We have this inglorious attitude of not punishing bad behavior, and it's been a long time coming.
It's not as if we have that attitude of not punishing bad behavior.
Okay.
Because in a lot of cases, what the expectation is for somebody going to court, like he said, is to have a watertight case. We've had a few cases here in Nigeria that we couldn't tackle. For instance, look at the case of Hush Puppy, who has defrauded so many people. We had another one of the under 30 billionaire who was doing a lot of tampering with the books. The first one was strictly a Nigerian matter. We couldn't handle it here. When the Americans went into the UAE to pick up Hush Puppy, and he got into court, the charges against him, he could not but plead guilty. The first time he appeared in court, it was because those things were properly laid out before he was even arrested. Nobody needed to go and talk too much grammar in court because the facts were there. In the case of the under 30 man, it was the same thing. It was his was even worse because it was like today he was at the pinnacle. And by the time the facts went before the court, it came right to the ground because the Americans were set for him. That's the kind of thing we are talking about here.
Yeah.
Are we set for this? That's why when the ICPC came and said, see, sometimes we feel that this drama of going to court, putting people on trial, parading them, is too much even for our economy. Let's do plea bargaining. We know that something went wrong. But if, because we are unable to read perhaps the books very well, or our justice system doesn't allow for all this turenchi that we go to talk, give us some of this money.
All right, let me tease you a little. Let me tease you. Dotun, do you trust the current leadership of the EFCC to do its job, to deliver?
Well, let me say, I'm not sure yet, because we've not seen one case trashed since the leadership came in. Not one in this kind of.
But you are told, we are told the wheel of justice will grind slowly.
But not in the case of corruption. If you are, I believe that if I'm going to pick somebody up for corruption, I should have done my due diligence. Because that makes it easier. You shouldn't be taking somebody to court and then
And still be looking for evidence.
When you did you hear the lawyer well? They had to amend the charges because they couldn't align something. That's a wrong. In fact, it shows that from the onset, the homework was not properly done.
I don't know if it's
and that's what I'm talking about. You don't take somebody to court without doing your homework. All you need to do in cases like this, take the person to court, present the charges, and then that man knows from that point that he doesn't have a case, that he doesn't stand a chance.
Tony, quickly, do you trust the current leadership of the EFCC?
It's not even about the currency. It's about the system. The leadership of EFCC has a limit. There are some cases they can't just jump into. They must seek permission. They must seek a mandate of the executive, because somebody appointed them. So they can't go. They have a boundary. They have a brief. They can't step beyond their bounds. So that's where the problem lies. You want to capture, so you know very well that this person has committed a crime, economic crime, well, because he's affiliated to this, or is known to this person, one of which, one of them, was instrumental to your appointment. I mean, how do you go about it? So that's where the problem is. It cannot go beyond this brief, no matter how the system has made it impossible. So we need to look into our laws again. You can't just go into the executive and start trying.
So do you think we are a long way from home?
Very far away from home. Very far away from home. And I can see. I'm not seeing any adjustment in that regard so far.
We don't even keep spending money.
We're not ready yet.
Cases that we are going to lose. We shouldn't.
Sirika, we heard about Sirika, and then he appears in court and he left. So all the noise and all, you don't have a case against him. And then, you keep amending it.
All right. We have to go on a commercial break now, I'm told. Please, let's observe the break. Please stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Thank you.
Day one, you are...
New beginnings are always colorful. When we celebrate the start of life's journey, we marry in colors. With our proudly Nigerian Dulux paints, now available in any color. Express your world however you want it. Visit a Dulux color center to get any color instantly. Dulux, let's color.
Okay, then, let's take this issue home, fighting corruption. Doctor, when I remember the statement credited to the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, he said, corruption is worse than diabetes.
It is.
So you look at diabetes, you look at corruption.
It is.
So
really.
it's a tough job.
Very tough.
It's a tough job.
And investigating corruption is not even for inexperienced people.
Okay.
It requires a lot of, painstaking investigation.
Doctor, I remember a case involving a former GMD NNPC then. Is it Yakubu? What was his name?
Yeah, one with money in the house.
Hard currency.
NNPC, right?
He escaped.
Oh, well, I don't know.
If the court set him free, still not
because what we need to look at is not about
prosecution was not tight.
It's not about it's not about escaping. The first question to ask is, did we even need to go into prosecuting that case? Because that's the basic question.
If it was in the act.
See, I didn't trust the system enough to go and put my money in the bank. So I built a vault on my own. The first thing you need to prove, in my own little knowledge, is the fact that this money was stolen. It's not about keeping where I kept the money. That somebody came to tell you that somebody kept money in his home does not make it crime money.
Criminal, yeah.
It doesn't. So when the first step you take is wrong, then you are going to falter all through. Because the man says, these were monies that given to me by this person during my son's wedding, during this. And, you know, so if you are going to get that man nailed, it is for you to say, see, you stole this money and these were the sources of this money. But nobody could say, this was where I took it from.
So are you tempted to believe Tony when he said we were a long way from home?
We are really. Because like I said...
So how do we begin to get home?
If
you understand, yeah.
Number one is that we must always have watertight cases. Once we lose that, it's finished. You are amending a charge or charges against somebody you have accused of 2.7 billion naira corruption on the first day. That's something else. And number two, like he said, I agree with him completely. We need courts that are specially dedicated to trying corruption so that these things don't take too long. But indeed, if we have watertight cases and you go to court, even the court doesn't need to sit for too long. Because the man we have taken to court will plead guilty immediately.
The court doesn't need to sit too long, yeah.
But when you are going to court and your facts are not together, there is a problem. Your facts must be together. You should be able to say, see, these 2.7 billion stolen by this man, they were from these sources. This was where he took it. You must be able to track the money.
Yeah.
But you are not tracking. You are just saying he stole.
And then it's granted bill.
He stole. You can't just say it on the face value. If you are saying that the money he used for this failed Nigeria Air, Ethiopia Air, this thing, was not properly utilized or there was no approval, fine, but not that he stole. If you can't prove that he stole that money, then you don't have a case. I wish a lot of these things that we hear, these billions.
All right, Dotun, we are joined by Femi. Femi is reaching us from Alagbado, next door. That's Ogun State. Femi, how are you?
Hello?
Yeah. Are you there? Let's go.
Hello?
Go on. Good evening. Good evening. We can hear you.
What I want to say is that justice system varies from country to country. Fine, thank you. Yeah, what I'm saying is that justice system is... Hello, are you hearing me?
Go on.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Femi, are you done?
Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. Looks like we're done. Thank you, Femi. Okay, then, let's step into our next story.